Hello everyone, welcome back to Etc. And today we have another Kerbal Space Program video. And today we are finally going to Minmus, our first celestial body that we are visiting off of Kerbin. But here, you can see in the time lapse, got our little white Mercury command pod and our bay, whatever it's called, the storage bay. To put all our experiments in the experiment storage unit, and as you could see there was a bit, there was a communitron that I put in there, as we will be putting Bob the Scientist Kerbal in there so we can reset the experiments, such as Mystery Goo and the Science Junior, so we can use it multiple times. And there we are, I just finished the upper stage. This will be the part that actually lands and does most of the transit between Kerbin and Minmus. Just a small Terrier engine and then some wee bitty landing legs. And then some long fuel tanks with a swivel engine underneath. I went with the swivel engine in specific as it has a good gimbal range so everything won't fall. And then here you can see me struggling with SRBs, and I realized SRBs aren't even going to be that great as they have no gimbal range, and it was painful. So I switched over to liquid fuel, and I used the Reliant engines, which are slightly stronger than the swivel engines, but have pretty awful gimbal range, and putting in Bob Kerman, as that is basically the entire rocket done. Doing some staging here, and yeah, pretty simple rocket for a Minmus mission, and just a simple crossfade over to the launch. And, well, OBS did not like the graphics mods that I put in. Eve and Scatterer did pretty good. Parallax, not so much. Anytime I got semi-close to a celestial body, like about to land or whatever, it would end up like this. A slideshow. It's even worse when we get to Minmus, but wait and see. Right now, it's decent, but as we get further away from the land and Parallax has to do less work, and my GPU not trying to catch on fire, it's slightly less bad. As you can see now, it looks silky smooth as we go farther away. I'm recording in 60 FPS, but for whatever reason, OBS with Parallax does not like it, as when even when I was playing it just on my screen, it looked fine. It was not choppy in the slightest. I do believe it's OBS having an absolute strunk, and sorry, talking about that, our Ascension burn, didn't talk about that at all. Just a simple gravity turn, not the most efficient gravity turn in any shape of the imagination. But we got rid of the two side boosters, and here we're just going to circularize with the lower mid-stage and then finish it up with our upper stage. It's pretty simple. Like, the gravity turn for me, not the best in the world. I'm not a super advanced KSP player, but I can at least get into orbit, as you can see. Given I didn't need the most efficient gravity turn in the world, but you'll have to wait and see for the fact that I was cutting it a wee bit close. But just our maneuver node to go to Minmus, just made that, and trying to get it pretty close, because you don't need to be too high above Minmus, as the terrain isn't awful, except when you try and go for a landing and then you smack into a mountain. That's already happened to me 2 times when I recorded this originally. So, yeah. Here you can see me extending my apoapsis, and whoa, almost missed the encounter there. Very, very, very touchy. Even just with the Terrier engine, it's like you barely puff it and then you go flying. So that's fun. Trying to adjust it with mid-course correction, as when I took off, couldn't really see it in the slideshow. I say slideshow endearingly. the Reliance had no gimbal range and decided to have a strong and kind of got an inclined apoapsis, which made it perfect for Minmus. As you can see, we're getting a nice equatorial pass by, but usually I have to do a mid-course correction burn. Here we did it as well, but usually it's anti-normal and normal. Here it was prograde and retrograde. I made a little maneuver for circularizing, and here we take our science from space high above Kerbin, got our Science Junior, Mystery Goo, all that good stuff, and sending Bob out on EVA to restore the science units and do an EVA report. Gotta siphon those into the experimental containment unit, and we're good. As you can see, it's a whole lot less choppy now, as we're in space, and everything looks nice because of scatterer just as soon as you get close. And, oh yeah, we're in Minmus's sphere of influence, so going to do science high above Minmus, or space high above Minmus, and then we gotta reset that once again. I'm not the best on EVAs. You can clearly see it's very, very disorienting, as, like, you do shift and control to go up and down. My brain still has a hard time to basically comprehend it. I've been playing KSP for a while now, and it's still difficult for me to comprehend. But here we go for our circularization burn at Minmus. And there we have it. Well, there we have it. It's very, very big apogee and perigee. We probably don't need that much. Or we definitely don't need that much. Usually, when doing Minmus circularization, you want to be in the realm of like 20 meters, or 20,000 kilometers above the surface. Not 20 meters. 20,000 kilometers above the surface. And, ooh, you can see there for a second, the very, very nice parallax textures loading in. But had to up in the brightness there a wee bit, as it's very dark. YouTube makes videos very dark, so up the brightness there. And now we're doing some more science from space near Minmus, so even more science. Just trying to milk the science from this mission as much as we can. Gotta collect all of those. But once again, going back to the whole parallax thing, parallax is the texture mod that makes everything look super realistic, and tessellation and whatnot, and makes it all look very, very cool. Problem is, it kind of eats your GPU alive, and I have a good graphics card. Like, I actually don't know what it is. It's an RTX something or another, but it's a good graphics card. OBS just doesn't like it for whatever reason, and as soon as we start landing here, you'll see why. But bringing our apoapsis closer, as we don't need 45,000 kilometers of clearance. Usually it's just this much, but at Kerbin and even mid-course correcting it, couldn't get it that well. But luring our periapsis all the way down to intersect with Minmus's surface to finally start landing. I know this is kind of a fast-paced video, but ooh, you see those textures? Oh, they look so good. Oh, it looks incredibly good. Like, see, it looks real. But as soon as I try to land or launch, everything's slideshow. Like, we're 500 meters above the surface, and it's not slideshow choppy. It's the 60 FPS that I have it set to, but for whatever reason, once I land, it's like, haha, no. I don't know why. Or maybe I'm telling you all lies, and apparently Fillmore decided to fix that all. I have no clue. I don't really watch videos after editing them, if I'm being honest. But here we have it, our suicide burn, and then just trying to touch down on Minmus's surface. And here comes the slideshow. I don't know why. I really, really don't know why it slideshows me. The ground looks beautiful, but it's just slideshow. And I'll try and fix that for next video, because I've already done 3 takes of this video, and I kind of have to get this video out today. I've recorded both the audio edited and the actual gameplay today, so I gotta get it out today on Saturday. Here, finally doing the science actually on Minmus, getting a lot of science from Minmus. But as you can see, it is slideshow and kind of disappointing. So hopefully this witty commentary can keep you around if you're still watching. But yeah, we got the thermometer, the mystery goo, and the Science Junior. Put them in the experiment storage unit and got an EVA with Bob to do an EVA report and a surface sample. Problem is, as soon as I go on EVA, it is 30 billion times worse. Like, you thought that slideshow was bad? This is awful. It's like 1 frame per minute. And here in this quick slideshow presentation, you can see, no, Siri, you can see I messed up the EVA a wee bit, and then I come all the way down. Parallax was being wonk as well here, as it couldn't, like, you know, see where the terrain actually was, because the actual ground visually was lower than where the ground was actually. Like, here, you can see Bob walking. This slideshow is awful. I hate it. I may just casually go insane. I swear I'll try and fix it for next week's video. I have no idea why it's doing it, except for the fact that OBS is bad. And yeah, I don't know. I just simply do not know what's happening. It's a slideshow. When I was playing it, it was silky smooth, 60 FPS, 1080p. Well, that's not the best in the world, but I could actually play the game. It was video, not slideshow. So I just don't know how to do. But here's Bob on the surface. I had quite an adventure trying to EVA him down there. Gotta do surface sample and EVA report, but you're not gonna see that because the slideshow. I'm only slightly annoyed because I don't want to do a retake. Yeah, it's really, this is getting bad. Maybe it's just a Minmus thing, but even as you saw when we were on Kerbin, like, it was really laggy launching, and don't even get to see our first flag planting, but we got it. Yay. Oh my gosh. Kind of tired here, just absolutely annoyed that Kerbal decided, haha, no. What if you don't get to record a video? So, just sometimes things don't work out. Like I said, I'll try and fix it sometime later. But the mission was extremely fun, and the graphical mods look amazing, but apparently it kills it. Like, I have OBS running off my dedicated graphics from my Intel CPU motherboard, whatever, for OBS, which is how you're usually supposed to do them, and then the integrated graphics card on for the actual gaming. So that's what I did. Everything's running silky smooth until we get onto a planet's surface or celestial body surface, or get even nearly close. And I had to do a crossfade there. Look, when I crossfade and unquicksaved, it looked much better, as the first time I did a takeoff, it didn't go too well. Parallax decided to have another strunk and just eat me alive, which is probably in part due to the Kraken. But here is our takeoff ascent burn from Minmus, a much better one than I had originally. And as you saw there, it was not slideshow when, well, it wasn't as bad slideshow when I crossfaded there. So I just don't know. Our MUN mission for next week's mission is going to be a MUN mission, FYI. Hopefully it will be better. I sincerely hope. But here, I retract the landing legs, as we won't be needing them for the rest of this mission, and just circularizing around Minmus so we can actually return. And very tight delta V budget. 178 meters per second left in the bank. I am drawing it paper thin, like paper thin. I barely made it. Like, it's a miracle that I made it back. I didn't even compensate for the fact that the Delta V budget would be so intense. But, I mean, it is Minmus after all. The takeoff wasn't the best takeoff ever. The actual launch from Kerbin wasn't the best launch ever, so that may have to do in part to it. But, yeah, 16 meters per second of Delta V left. We could have, like, gone to Julian back with that one, am I right, lads? Yeah, didn't really think ahead there. But Bob is going to make it home. Spoiler alert, but he makes it home safe and sound with some boring PowerPoint presentations in the mix. But here we are, warping back to Kerbin. Forgot to say bye to Minmus. But see, Scatterer works perfectly fine, or Scatterer, I've been calling it Scatterer for a long time now, for whatever reason. Looks amazing. But as soon as I try and get close to a celestial body and, like, actually land, Parallax has a strunk. And I keep on saying Parallax because that's the most likely reason. But here we go, re-entry. Gotta detach the lower stage, because we have our heat shield up here. And starting to get nice and toasty, and some fireworks. Whew. Good thing we weren't on there. And the temperature gauges are starting to creep up a wee bit, and so is the slideshow Kraken. But here, can't really see it that well, but I'm trying spinning, because that's a good trick. And it helps Bob and the command pod get a nice, equal roasty toasty on all sides, and kind of negates the temperature gauges for whatever reason. If you just hold Q or E on PC and spin for whatever reason. We are coming in pretty fast and pretty low. That's the reason why we're going in at, like, I think I had our periapsis originally at, like, 25 meters, or 25,000 meters above the surface, which is usually not very good, but we're coming in from Minmus, so I thought it was fine, and we are fine. And the slideshow, I didn't realize how fast we were coming in. I had physical time warp, and we hit 1,000, and I didn't realize the parachutes weren't, like, you know, primed and ready. So we hit 1,000 meters and almost smashed Bob into a nice pancake. Good thing we didn't. I spammed spacebar multiple times, and touchdown. Sorry for the slideshow. Parallax looks nice, like, we got the grass and whatnot, and so does Scatterer, but, yeah. Slideshow. And we did get a whopping 1,104 science from the mission. Very nice. So, gonna go into R&D and unlock some important parts of the fuel systems, give us the fuel lines and the big Rocket 9 parts, or Rockomax, and the bigger engines. Gonna grab the general construction, as the struts will help out immensely to stop the wobble. Get fairings. Fairings will be very, very nice. So, get some Delta V off of those. Get the little EVA portable kit so we can golf on the mun. Haha! That's the EVA experiment kit is probably the best part of this entire game, and the choices started to get a little bit harder as I want to get the seismometer and the better experiments as well, but kind of have to spread out the science across the field. Right now with the Rocketdyne parts, we easily have enough, or not Rocketdyne, Rocco Max parts to easily get to the Mun and back. I say as next week I will have an absolute nightmare trying to get to the Mun. Gonna grab the space exploration as that gives us the Breaking Grounds portable experiment placey downy bits. I don't actually know how to use them, as I haven't really used Breaking Grounds much, as I got it only like 2 weeks back, so that's gonna be fun. Still got 500 science left. I was debating for getting the massive engines, the heavier rocketry, but I don't think we need mainsail and twin bore engines to get to to get to the Mun. That would be slightly ludicrous, and then it would probably be better to advance in electronics, and I mean, gotta spread it out. Can't just have massive rockets and no science. That would kind of be very pointless. And we have 300 and Hawaii, the slideshow. We got the flight control because that's all we had left after we spent 300 on the very precious advanced electronic parts, which basically gave us the whole seismometer and magnetometer, boom. So all the good big science parts after only just a single Minmus mission. But that is it. Signing off for now. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye!